It's July the 21st. Days are getting shorter and fall and winter are soon to follow. Uh, First, we'll get started on we'll just jump right into our, work session. And do I have any additions or deletes that, the board wishes to make, to the work session at this time?
Commissioner, I'd like to move that we remove item number 2, item 5, item 6, and item 7 from the work.
Number, okay, 2, 5, 6, and 7.
Yes, sir.
And I am going to add to that one. Well, I tell you what, we're gonna strike off a lot, but I'm gonna explain mine, because one of the parties is here tonight. I want to strike off, Andy Care at this time for discussion, and Bill, I saw you a while ago. Yes, sir. The reason I wanted to do it, sir, I found out today that we are going to have budget meetings with our department heads, the first week in August. And I would really like to invite you and Susan to sit down make the time with Julia that y'all can come and discuss y'all's budget with us. And that way,
What have we not discussed? This is going on, the renewal is 90 days prior to January 1. I'll be glad to answer any ones before I do it. Comes in, Brian, I'll be glad to answer any questions.
well, it's
I
not.
don't, no,
Okay, go ahead.
but understand, I've been under a gentleman's agreement, verbal, to extend it. And here we are, and we're at another.
Mhm.
And I hope Tanner supplied you with a lot of information, the West Georgia Animal, because of the recordings I heard of those conversations, there wasn't a lot of, meat to it, or a lot of answers that could not have been received if you'd asked for your own county animal service. But my thing is this: is there a question by the board of why are we stringing this along? My thing is I've got 6 to hire. We've hired 3. And the full safety won't go into effect until that 4th ambulance goes into 24-hour effect, 7 days a week. And these folks are hired. I got 50% of them. We're wanting to deliver service to this county. And the reason it's taking us this long, we didn't want a warm body attached. We want somebody to show up to your business, and be professional, and know what to do, and treat you well and people. My question is what part of that are they not doing, or what part of this contract is changed? That's, we got to talk about the budget.
I don't think it was even on the meeting to vote on that. I think it's just on the work session tonight, so I don't. I would have to be part of
Okay, thank you. Yeah, you're right, I did learn a lot of information, and, I've read a lot about our contract. Now, you asked what's taking so long. Let me tell you a little bit of a problem that I have. Yes, it's been rocking along, and we have been given the previous contracts as always have been. But, Counselor, I hate to say this, but you sat down with Bill and Susan to negotiate a contract on our behalf, and you hadn't sat down with the board to discuss. And I do have a problem with that. And I think that there's a more appropriate time to discuss, contractual issues than in an open forum tonight. Because there is dollars and cents involved. It is a contract. It is a huge part of our, county budget. And you're asking for a huge increase, and I understand all that. But we need to understand as well as you do, and tonight is not the time nor the place. So
This is not the time or the place in the work session.
no, sir, not right now. Okay,
All right, so let me understand this from y'all. Is The contract that we're working on verbally right now, it increased January 1 to that 10% margin. What's unaffected is from maybe forward to 4 24-hour ambulance that is, we have half the staff not putting in service, so forth. But once it goes in, are we still in the same ballpark, y'all?
When you talking about putting the half in? When you talking about the increase, when you said January?
When the increase for the fourth ambulance comes in, it does not go into effect. It is in service.
Okay, what did you say about January?
July 1 is when the contract with the 10%, 10% increase went into effect from verbal.
Okay, does the 10% increase also include the 3%? Or does 3% start next year?
Now, did you read the contract with each subsequent year?
I was there, but I highlighted there's a mix on words.
I'm sorry.
To the microphone, they can hear
Uh,
So,
My question is now what's law firm on you with?
I see it there.
I haven't sat down with the representative of Tyson Advance, and I understand you're following analysis, and that's great. They look forward to seeing the video. But as far as following me and saying me or my wife sit down with representative, the lawyer from Tyson Advance, have we sat down?
We had a phone call.
Yeah, a phone call.
Okay, well, that's a lot more than we paid.
Has something changed from when we discussed this at a open budget meeting or 2-3 months ago? Is that still the premise that we're working on?
Yeah, all we did was take the old contract and put in the things that were discussed at the budget.
At that meeting?
And there was one thing I think that was added that wasn't discussed at the budget meeting, which was the 3% escalation. And so that was pointed out, but my understanding was that that's been discussed with some of the commissioners and everybody's.
So that's the following.
Yes,
Yeah.
each subsequent year.
No, just since we are, can you just explain, since that, I guess, was not brought up at that, so
Sure.
you just explain what that is?
Yes, sir. All right, the 2026 through 2027, ending July 1, 2027. That rate, once the 24-hour ambulance is in full effect,
Mhm.
24-hour code.
Before,
Yes, sir, it's 40. Total subsidy goes to 912 only. Then at 655 for the last 23 months.
Mhm.
Goes to 912. And, you know, that's all there, that's all in the writing.
That was the conversation from the.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Every bit of that, yes, sir.
Everything that we discussed is in the contract,
Yes, sir.
other than the 3%.
3%.
That don't even come
It's in the
into effect
contract.
until the next,
It's in the contract before the board of commissioners.
but it don't come into effect until the following.
That's correct.
That's right.
And so that's all we did was make sure that we were on the same page of all the things that were discussed in the meeting or in that contract. And other than those changes, it's staying the same as it always has been.
that's the way it's presented.
That's the way it's presented. Now, the board can do whatever the board wants to
And
do.
I've been trying for over 6 weeks, and you know that I have, and Miss Julia knows that I have, because I have called numerous times. Where is my contract? And you got it to us last Thursday. And, there are things that this board needs to have in discussion, that I am not ready to put it out in front of everybody tonight. There's no need getting in the tall grass with it. I invite Bill and Susan to come and sit down with us and let us all understand what he obviously understands and what some of my commissioners understand. But I'd like to have some clarity. And as opposed to taking up the time of this meeting and all the public here tonight, it might last more than 5 minutes. So I'm going to ask once again that item number 1 and care contract be put aside until we have the budget hearings, and Bill and Susan will be contacted. They will be welcome to come or not come. But at that time, the board can sit down and have our discussion, and y'all are welcome to come. Thank you, sir.
What's this need to be voted on, Bill? besides the amendments.
Yeah, I mean, look at it in writing. I mean, this thing's verbal now since.
I know we have the verbal, but when do we need a sign?
We,
I know it's not even up for vote tonight, but when,
yes, we need to put this to bed in the August meeting. August vote. I mean, is that fair to y'all? I mean, it's supposed to be done if we're going by the old contract 90 days prior to
No, it's not.
expiration.
No, it's not. If you bring it, no, don't back to me.
Oh,
If you bring it up before 90 days for it's renewed, you do not. That's what our counselor has told us. If you bring it up 90 days prior to renewal, which we did, then there is no, there is nothing that says that we have to sign it by July the 30th. That's what our attorney has told us. and
Did
that's
I
what
just say you had to sign it, David? I said I've been on the road.
You get your money, right?
I had to.
Okay.
One.
Well, I'm sure.
Did it have the in-person in it, Dave?
Huh?
Did it have the in-person?
I don't know. Ask the accountant.
Well, I'll be glad to.
Okay.
But, you know, the phone rings both ways. I love that you go outside of county and you answer. And we're providing care to your citizens, and you don't call any one of the 6 votes.
You didn't call me, but you contacted the other commissioners, so back at you.
Okay, when did I contact?
Because everybody, according to the counselor, there's been several commissioners that have agreed to your 3%. So therefore, there's been conversation. I'm not gonna get into the part.
No, I'm not gonna chase rabbits with you either, David.
It's tabled
So
tonight.
I'm good for all this.
let's just put this down to vote on it, whatever August meeting it needs to go on to.
If the board has had an opportunity. to
And that's
sit
the
down,
majority of the board.
Now,
Majority.
the budget meeting was not
That's-
what day now, August
That's-
6th. And
that's
what day is the
majority.
first Tuesday on? It won't be until after the 7th.
So what is the dates on August, work session, please?
I believe the August, the
18th.
I believe so. I guess we can take it off, even we kind of discussed it, but.
Okay, so is that good to y'all?
Yeah.
August 18th? Yep. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Item number 2 was asked to be stricken by Commissioner Farmer
Yes. 5, 6, and 7.
and along 567. Okay, that brings us to, item number 3, the Historical Society lease. Is, Mrs. Conley, yes, ma'am.
How's everybody doing? Good. Thank you for listening to us. So a lot of people don't know, most recognizable building in our county is our beautiful courthouse. You know, the front, the business cards on every door, sitting right there. So a lot of people are aware of this, and I know that I've spoken to a couple of commissioners and the chairman, they weren't aware that the Historical Society has probably leased on that building since 1974. The original purpose of the Historical Society was to save the old courthouse because it had been abandoned when the new courthouse was built. So a petition was made and a bunch of the older citizens of this area signed a petition to save the courthouse, and therefore the Historical Society was formed. So it was really to save the building from demolition, to discover and collect and preserve all significant materials. I don't know, Julie, did they get the packages? Yes. Okay, great. So y'all have a copy of this, the original constitution and purpose of the Historical Society. We're really to promote research, to educate, to collect historical materials. So what has happened in the past, the Historical Society has participated in several renovations of the building. They participated, they did the renovations, they got grant money starting in 1974, 1999, 2000, the year 2000, they got grants for over $357,000 to restore the building. So in all of this time, and I don't know how far back this goes, the county gives the Historical Society a monthly stipend of $1,031.67. So if you look at page 3 of the packet I gave you. That shows you, basically our expenses and income for the year 2025. And highlighted are all of the operational expenses, which the Historical Society has been responsible for. I'm gonna say since 1974, when the original lease was written. I can imagine it probably cost $1,000 a month to run that building back then. If that. But last year, our operational costs to manage that building, that includes elevator expenses, pest control, janitorial service, electric, water, gas, phone, lawn care, trees, things like that. The Historical Society has spent $21,106.26 to support that building. Our purpose is to preserve history. Our purpose is to preserve historical buildings such as that and other buildings within our county. We are absolutely unable to do that. Pretty much all the money that we make, and I'm going to say our largest source of income is the Pride Pie Festival in September. See y'all in September. Without the Pride Pie Festival money, we would have had a deficit of over $10,000 last year. So, this being said, the Historical Society meets once a month, the second Monday of the month at 6 p.m. And we're in that building for 1 to 3 hours. We welcome guests, we have guest speakers, we run a few programs there, not very often. So when I first, actually, Eddie was the first one I spoke to, then I had a meeting with the chairman. They were pretty unaware that we were paying all these bills. And so our question is, how do we revise this lease we have? Or how do we change this? I don't see that it's our responsibility to pay the operational costs on a building that we spend about 3 hours a month in. But with this being said, also, the library is there. It's such an important part of Haralson County, or of Buchanan. I've got some figures from Jana. Just their fiscal year was July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. Their circulation numbers are over 16,000 books that went out. This is in Buchanan. 891 people using computers, a patron count of 9,622 people, and just the summer reading program, which is so important to our children. We had 605 kids come. So the library is really important, and really our money that we're raising has supported that as well. We don't want to vacate the premises. We want to say that we want to continue the Historical Society, but in a different manner. We want to be able to work on grants to restore your building. It's a county building. We don't know that. We want to be able to write those grants, find grants, restore the clock tower, fix the floors. There's so much to be done. I've got a bill right here that was from February that we sent over here. It's for $5,990 to fix the elevator. It's on our end. It's a county building. So what we're asking is to kind of revise the way things are done for us. We don't see how it's our responsibility to pay all the operational costs. Again, we want to participate in restoring, renovating, maintaining the building. So, I mean, what are your thoughts?
Your lease cost for that, or you wouldn't be paid, have paid it for the last 20 some odd years.
That's correct.
And so now you want out of your lease, and I fully understand. How many active members do y'all have in the Historical Society?
We go from, I don't know, we got like 15 right now. That long to be.
Okay. So that's a small group of people trying to raise a large amount of money.
Absolutely.
And let me say that, well, I was in a meeting yesterday about the courthouse, and that is a beautiful old building. And it's one of the few that has that architectural design in the state of Georgia.
That's right.
And, but it is a money pit to us right now. And the county is not in a position to do what you are asking for. Now, the conversation led yesterday for another plan, and I would like you to see the where that plan gets implemented. I don't know if all parties have been spoken to yet, but it will take away the burden of the Historical Society and the courthouse. But We got some things. I don't know that it's ready, are you ready, Miss Green, to say anything in regards to it tonight about what our plan was to go forward? Or had you rather not? I wish you would.
So, I want to go back to like our expenses.
Yes, ma'am.
If it were not for the Fried Pie Festival last year, we would have had a deficit of $10,252 to meet 3 hours a month.
Well, and there again, you make 3 hours a month, we make none.
Right.
And you want us to keep up a historical back building that has historical value to it, and I get that. But where does the
Where does that
dollars
money
come
come
from?
from? Right.
And so we're trying to work through that. And in doing so, it will change the library function somewhat, but it's a doable thing. And, I wish Miss Larry, when Miss Green has a chance, she was Northwest Georgia Regiment. And, she can tell us what was the discussion yesterday. And where the chairman stood on it, I be glad, I just said, we all agree. And, so I'd like to use, when it comes time to let them, tell us what they're planning. So that I want them to fully understand. It's not difficult, it's just, people don't like changes. There is a change in the way business will be done. But just listen to it.
Okay. So, when I talk about grants and so forth, we want to be able to bring programs, not just to the library, to the county, historical programs that can be profitable to the county as well. But other festivals, the historical festival, the Fried Pie Festival is profitable. So there's other things that can be done, so it can take away some burden from the county for that building. If we use it properly, that upstairs courtroom is never used. We could do so much, but we're so busy trying to figure out how we're gonna raise money to pay our monthly bills.
I know you think, we have the same thing here.
Yeah.
Time to bump. So whatever we do in the name of budget cut, understand that your mindset works the same way. When the dollars don't add up, you gotta make cuts. And so what's fair for one is fair for the other, so let's listen to it.
So can I ask what we're supposed to do with the $6,000 bill for an elevator in a public building?
You've been paying it forever and then you.
No, sir. We pay $173 a month for maintenance. This is a part and a repair.
Do you mind just giving that back, clerk?
It's already been settled.
Okay.
So, what's that?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, that'll be fine.
Okay, all right, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Before moving on to the, item number 4, excuse me, say what?
You said that. Speak, and then you let her speak. That's great. Let her speak.
I just, I just was saying that, sir. I said before going on to number 4, I would like to ask, is this a good time for Miss Green to come up and speak? Let me finish. Okay, man.
Probably just gonna be bothered.
Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm Christy Green. I'm the Director of the West Georgia Regional Library System. Yesterday, we did have a meeting, me and a regional board trustee, the Haralson board chair, and we met with the commission chair and Mr. Hartley as well to discuss the library and where the library stands at this point with the lease maybe potentially in flux. Is that, we really came to the commissioners to ask, how can the library remain? How can the library still be of service to the community? And so the conversation, what we heard from that, currently the county provides $26,000 annually for all 3 of the Haralson County libraries. So that's your Tallapoosa, that's your Greenland branch, and the Buchanan Haralson Library as well. That goes towards shared services and it's distributed through a population base to the libraries. Then in addition to that, the county, commission gives an additional 33,000 a year solely to the Buchanan Library. They do not offer that in-kind, support to either Greenland or to Tallapoosa. And so, they have been giving extra funding to the Buchanan Library. Now, at the same time, the wonderful friends of the Buchanan Library, go above and beyond in donating, towards salaries and towards materials for the library, supporting programs and supplies that are needed. And, the library has been a great community hub. And I give a lot of credit to Janet Gentry, the longtime manager there, he really started the library. And so in that conversation, where we landed is that with these other city libraries giving sustained support to their city libraries, you don't receive the same from Buchanan. We get 12,000 a year from the city in support of the library. So really, we're taking money from here and there and a large chunk from the county and trying to operate and keep this library afloat. And so, my question to the commissioners was, well, what happens, it's sort of a handshake agreement with this historical society. What happens to the library if this lease doesn't conclude? What do we do? And so, where we landed, is that what a service that we can provide, to the community, and this is, not the best case scenario, but for the time being, and with the resources and finances available, we can provide through the region, a library locker, where people can come and get materials and check out materials, place polls and get them. The West Georgia Regional Library will also support Buchanan by providing bookmobile services and coming regularly. I met already this morning with our outreach coordinator and talked about coming to Buchanan to offer programs and story times, do pop-up events. But where we stand right now is at the end of this calendar, if we would have to close the library. Anything else that you'd like to add to that? Or?
No, ma'am, you said it, I wanted the people to, please on this, you can still have the drop-off dock. And it's done right now in the city of Waco.
That's that.
And is it utilized?
It is utilized very heavily. Our goal at West Georgia Regional, part of our strategic plan, is to reach underserved populations, people that don't have a library near them or are unable to get to a library. And so at West Georgia Regional, we are committed to providing the services as best as we can as funding allows.
Any other questions?
I'm totally against what you guys are doing. I'm sorry. I'm just keeping our library. We got a lot of people, you said 16,000 books, 851 computers. That's a lot for right here. It's going to be like the next thing, trying to do what it's like here.
Yeah, I would like to limit what it's going to take.
Yeah.
And we, as a historical society, we don't have, we don't really full library service. We know it's going to be for operational funds, but for programs, there's money out there. And Don and I just went to some classes, and somebody else that's not here this morning, wants to assist us. So if you can help get money into the hands of that, you know, I see that. That's what it's such a burden on us. We can't be historians. We don't have time. We're too busy going to work.
Well, there'll be,
There'll be more discussion.
there'll be definitely more discussion, it's not the end of the year yet. But that's how it was said yesterday, and his friend told us what we felt like was, it's not the best alternative, no, but, ask each and every one of yourselves financially, you have to make cuts in your own personal finances sometimes. And hopefully, things get better and you can bring them back. And you experience that in your daily life all the time. And that's all we're trying to do here, is to put a Band-Aid on it, to where we can get, hopefully get in a better position where we can afford the liability, but the courthouse is an expensive building. And it's not only keeping the library open that needs to be discussed, nation. It's what do we do with the courthouse? They use it 3 hours a week. Is it a month? Is that worse than millions, more than $1 million to fix up the courthouse for no one to be in, so it can just sit there and run down again? We've got to have a benefit to spend for that cost. And right now, the benefit's not there. So, help us
If I may.
occupy that.
Well, I mean, we want to, that's the point, we want to be able to improve that building, and, my first meeting I had with, the chairman, I gave him a whole list of things that would, look at the drills, so. If somebody needs to really do maintenance, like, weather seal everything, there's so many things, like, big windows that are falling out, you can't do all that, you don't have the money to do all
And
that.
we don't even know, you're not preaching to the choir. I mean, your financial constraints or trying to take care of that courthouse are just like ours, or just like your own personal ones, just like everybody in it. All that is. And, so I don't doubt that you're not able to do it. But neither are we at this time. And we hope that we can get to a position that we can better afford it. So in the interim, there will be more discussion between now and December. And, but that's where we are today, and until those talks were had, I can't really lie you any additional information.
If I may state, when we met yesterday, I did come asking, other alternative locations that we could use. And it seems like there aren't, because I understand that maybe the situation at the courthouse is untenable and not in the long term. And I even said, we can apply for new construction. But again, that takes funds, and funds that just right now the county does not have to do that. So we're hopeful that we can move a way forward and do something different in the future. But we don't want to completely cut service to Buckman by any means.
In that meeting yesterday, both sides, everybody that was today, was a money respect, what is a monetary number that we're looking for to keep the library going? I mean, the discussion that was had, are they numbers that we can look at?
Well, you can look at the, you can look at the historical budget that they gave, but what is not included in what no one knows, how much is gonna keep the roof leaks now, you just said there's windows out. We just got a $6,000 elevator bill, so it's a money pit, it's not a,
But it's a gorgeous piece of history, look around, look everywhere in this county, what do you see, that civil war just let it fall apart? Look,
what we gonna put it, are we gonna, all of us line up and go sign the note and be responsible for it?
let's spend a couple of days volunteering return stuff with us.
So what?
Let's come volunteer and help us out.
Then we got some time for some further discussion,
Eddie was gracious
through
enough to.
the end of the
Pay
year.
her back. Pay us $1,000.
I think we've got some time for some further discussion, it's kind of through the end of the year.
That's right. Anything else? Thank you, man. Thank you, sir. Item number 4, Corinth Baptist Church deed. Corinth Baptist Church had asked a little over a month ago, there's a deed that the county gave to them, correct me, Counselor, if I'm wrong, there was a deed that, they gave the county years ago for the, transit, for rideshare. Rideshare is no longer being used out there at Corinth. And they have asked that we deed that 1 acre or 40 acres back to them with the understanding, that if we need it for anything, it's there for our use, but they have an expansion program, within the church, and they are needing that property. And that's what I do call for, I believe, counselor, is, if you want to elaborate on that.
Sure, there's a very carried clause in the deed that says if it's not being used by Haralson County for that year, it'll be, then it reverts back to the, and, before they build on it, and title company requires every expiration, even that, every night, for that.
And do we need to do anything for, are you in your office preparing that deed work, or do we need to do anything at this time?
We can prepare it for the kind of need to, for this. Yeah, if the board plays on that, then regularly, we prepare the deed with each other, decide that, you know.
I've actually always the fourth meeting, I would,
You know, that was a special call meeting, I mean,
We could actually do that special call meeting on Tuesday. If sort of say it's put it on the agenda. And everybody, yeah.
whatever you want to bring on.
All right, 5, 6, and 7 were, deleted, so that will end our first part of our meetings tonight, of the work session. And with that, we will go directly into our, special call meeting. And if you would, Sam and communication, I'll have the, great questions.
let's pray. Dear most gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you, Lord, for this day you've given us, Father. Thank you, Lord, for gathering us together, to do your business at this county that you have seen for us to do. Father God, I pray right now for everything that's done, Father God, that we bring in the interest of your people. Father God, we love you and we praise you and thank you for all that you do. In Jesus' name, we pray this thing. Amen.
We will, with that, we will waive the chairman's report for the first of the month. And we will waive the reading of the previous minutes till the first, till the first of the month.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to waive this.
Okay. Is there a second? Wait then. All those in favor of? All those opposed? Okay. Is there anyone? I know there's people here to talk tonight.
We want people to have the working thing.
Okay. Do I have a,
Before we approve the agenda, I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion that we move item number 2 from that agenda. And I have no issue adding, I'm going to need to add that issue that we just discussed.
what's that?
Go ahead and make a motion that we remove item 2,
Yes, sir.
the county manager's vote, and go ahead and add the, point that the church be vote.
Okay.
Tonight.
That would be fine.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Wait a minute, I would also, like to amend item number 1. The rezoning request of Tyndall Corporation. It's my understanding they are, got an immediate hurry for this vote to take place.
We still need to have a vote on that, so I'd wait till that, I've been thumbs up and put a appropriate motion.
Okay,
Is that going to change you, the question, Commissioner Parker, which is that one?
yes, sir, that's that one.
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve the agenda as amended, removing the county manager vote and essentially replacing it with the point that the church be voted.
Second.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay. So we did not strike item one,
That's correct. And first, we have the public participation.
as we first had the participation then on, agenda items.
And that would not include the zoning, because we've already heard it on the public hearing. So non-zoning items.
But we can ask,
Yes, you can ask questions to the people if they, have questions or more than to explain something.
Okay,
public participation on agenda items not including the one.
okay, thank you. Do we have a list there?
It's fine. Probably right. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Are you about the Tyndall, this, about the funding?
So,
When was that being put on?
well, so we haven't gotten to that item yet, so let's wait till we get to that item, but there is no more public comment on that item. We've already had a full public hearing for all the public spread that.
That is part of the problem, but it's the most of the public didn't know anything about it. I live across the road from that place. I didn't know anything about it until Saturday when I drove up, Duffy Street, and saw a yard sign. And when I started talking to people, nobody knew anything about it. And then when you talk, it gets more and more convoluted as to what they want to do. To rezone 100 or so acres for parking lot. I mean, that is one super parking lot. And when I spoke with Chris Dines, their client, he says, well, it's a little more than a parking lot. We're talking a maintenance building, a woodwork shop, fabrication shop, and a welding shop. I mean, it's everybody you talk to, you get a different response, different answer. And I think the public is being poorly served by not understanding.
I think there'll be some explanation about the next steps when we get to that item, if you'll let's get to that item.
But I would like to reiterate just from we did not take off item number one.
So that will be discussed tonight.
There will be a vote on that item tonight, yes, ma'am.
You'll vote on rezoning tonight.
Yes, ma'am, there will be a vote on, we removed item number two as it relates to the county manager position, not item number one.
Okay, is it going back to the zoning commission or tonight's vote is fine?
If you'll just let us get there, I think.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. But I would like to be clear that the way that was noticed is the way that the way that tonight's meeting was noticed, as well as every other rezoning request is noticed, we notice in the same way.
And that's one thing I would like to ask is people quit getting the little free paper. Is that if, I'd say 95% of Haralson County is a water bill. Why little notes like that can't be put into the water bill of such and such, rezoning. I mean, that would be,
Different entity than the water department.
I understand that, but it's all county money. County pays his, county pays that. So you don't think that the water authority would say, okay, if you have some little something you want to type into the water bill this month?
There's legal mechanism by which we have to notice these things,
Mhm.
and so that's what we have to follow. And I believe, I can also explain that a little bit more, but there's legal mechanisms that we have to follow in order to properly publish them. So we have to be notified around, apply to be published.
Can that not be questioned? So maybe down the road, you want to
We
do
get a
this?
change at the state capitol, I'll be happy to.
So the state capitol would not allow you to have a water
I'm
authority.
telling you, there's a way under the law that we have to notice these things.
Oh, I understand that under the law is where you do everything.
But we notice these things the same way every month. We send our meetings at the same time every month.
And again, I think we need to.
I think we call it.
Yeah, I think we need to move on to that.
I agree.
And then we have more.
Okay.
Chris Dines is on, that's also on the zoning. That's all about it.
Okay, then moving into item number one. Rezoning request by Tyndall Corporation doing business as Atlantic Structural Concrete.
I would like to ask Chris Bynes to come up and speak, of something that has changed with the changes that we have done, that we received last week.
Yeah, before we did not have, a few such good site plan. Not realize we really needed that, so, we've come up with a site plan that I'd like to, present to the commissioners, tonight. Oh.
Is there a way that can be published for the audience to see?
I give you mine, that's only.
On this, conceptual site plan, did not realize we needed to do this before, but, we sat down and like I said, it's conceptual, and it's just trying to come up with something. We heard the, opinion that, we put a 150-foot buffer zone on Monroe Road, and then, 150-foot buffer on Old Jacksonville Road. And, basically, the area is a gravel laydown yard, which is storage for our finished product. We would keep the production up on the hill where it currently is. So that it could gravel laydown yard, and the possibility of three buildings, maybe on that side, a carpentry shop, maybe a welding fabrication shop, and a maintenance shop. But production would still stay where it is right now. But we will need some storage and this, I would hope to businesses doing. So that's what this plan lays out right here. And, if we put another entrance, stay on Hunt Drive. This plan. So, hope that helps everybody feel better, that all the production stay up on the hill, exactly where it's at, it's still level and flat, with potential of the gravel way down north for more storage, product.
So we doubled your bucket.
Yeah.
So the changes that you've made are, you went from a 50-foot buffer to a 150-foot buffer. And the changes that you have made, or it was just a blank canvas, you're going to use the majority of that property for a laydown yard for your actual finished product.
In addition, from the power line right of way, we're going to leave that all the way over to the property line that's on Monroe Road, agriculture.
How much did you have?
It's roughly about 16 acres, 16 and 17.
On the agriculture that you're leaving from the power line back forward. Seeing that you've made these changes and not brought it to our actual planning and zoning, I would recommend tonight that we table this vote and bring it back to our planning and zoning and let them go over this conceptual plan that you did not have in the first place when they denied. That would be my recommendation.
Is that in the form of a motion?
I'll make that in the form of a motion.
I'll second.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I got a first and a second. I got a first and a second. You're not overweight.
Oh, yeah, I was trying to get that.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of tabling to, the next month's meeting, so, aye. All those opposed? Okay, thank you.
We need to stay.
I know a lady in that.
That would be August 4th.
Okay.
Hold on one second. We need to make that the 18th so that they would have the ability, because I just don't know when that next planning and zoning meeting is.
Yes, so, yeah, we can make it
18th, August 18th.
Maybe we want to push it out of those design ones off the stand. It's good to and I just asked, well, I'm not sure if I had that would be the only two items that we would vote on, especially if I move it back.
Okay, we tabled item number 2, county manager position, which gets us to the item 3, the last item.
Vice Chairman, we actually replaced item number 2 with the.
Oh, I know we moved it to 4, we made it number 2.
I don't know if we could swap it out, but we just make it number two, let's do it that way.
Okay, and then item number 2 has changed to a vote on the, parking lot area at Common Established Street. So I have a motion that we, need quit claiming that property back over to, from Haralson County back to, Common Established.
I make a motion that we go ahead and, do that one to the county.
And authorize the chairman to execute any documents necessary to complete
But that is one of the third, and authorize the chairman to take all actions necessary to effectuate that.
Okay.
So,
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor, aye? All opposed? Carries. All right. Skipping down now, we're ready for item number 3. Magistrate Court Police. This is, 2 buildings that our magistrate judge, says that she has run out of space in our courthouse. I comment there that everybody has run out of space at the courthouse. However, she is requesting for us to rent 2 buildings. I believe they're located up here on the square in Bucktown, of which to operate her office out of. That is approximately 3,000 square feet, which is way more than anybody has the pleasure of room in our current courthouse. That's a lot of space. So is there a discussion on that?
I have anything other than a motion that would be, master court lease.
Well, let me ask this, Councilman, you're very much more in tune to this than this. I believe that she is using one of those buildings for a courtroom. I know we have courtroom problems as well. But to save the county the cost of one building, could you say going with only renting one and where she had to have her court at courthouse?
No, I think she's gonna have to have 2, because she's gonna have to take the files, if there's no space at the current, in the current national court for all the files, and do some of the changes, it is anticipated that there's gonna be quite an increasing number of lawsuits filed in national court, because the amount of controversy is being raised from 15,000 to 25,000. So a number of, basically, any minimum liability personal injury lawsuit could now be filed in national court, so there needs a lot more of that, as well as the increase overall in national court filings. So I think she does need the space for both of those offices. And some conversation I've had with Judge on the honor is hopefully this is a stopgap until we can figure out some solutions, either inside the current courthouse or on some property directly adjacent to the courthouse. It'll be no long term, but I think for a year, for 18 months, this is a good stopgap.
Is it part of this for the year?
Right, is it a year for right now? It's just a 1-year lease for the moment.
Yeah, okay. So do I have a motion? What's the motion?
Yeah, I'll reiterate the motion to approve the request in the master court for these those 2 buildings or 2 spaces from that one.
Okay, I have a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor, aye? All opposed? Okay. All right, that gets us to participation on non-agenda items.
So we have P. Norton, who wants to talk about his tax assessor's office.
Good evening. Before I hand these out, I'm handing these out to each of y'all, but I want to make sure that you guys understand, I'm not here to talk about the value or the appeal of my taxes in this county. I know how to do that. I did it last year, and I can handle it this year. What I'm here to talk about is Mr. I've heard you talk about dollars and cents all night. What I'm here to talk about is the inefficiency of our tax assessor office and what's it costing this county. I venture to say that last year, that because of the incompetence in the tax assessor office, we paid a bunch of money to have a bunch of reappeals done. And reappeal assessment. So I'm wondering what it cost this county last year, because we had an extreme number of high appeals, above average for the state. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk you through a little journey here. If you guys won't mind, I don't know if I can hand this out or something. And this does have my tax information in it because that's one I'm most familiar with. Okay. I want to take you on a journey. I'm gonna ask you some questions. I don't suspect you'll have an answer. I really don't. But I suspect it'll get you to thinking. Maybe you need to walk across to this tax assessor office down here and have a conversation with the man that runs it. If you look at page 1 here, this is my tax assessment. Yeah, I'll explain you down some legal issues at some point. My tax assessment went up significantly here. You look at that page 1, you see the number 467 to 489. Right? I live in City of Green. When I first looked at this, I thought, well, man, they just appealed. I just appealed it last year. They did 2 appraisals on my house, assessments on my house. Maybe it should have went up, maybe it shouldn't. But let me look into it. So then what I did is I pulled a house right up here in Buck County. This next page, if you look at it, the one that starts with 438. Sorry, I can't read that song. I need to set them down. If you look at it, this house is exactly the same as my house. Yet with better finishes, better brick, same acre of land and everything. And it's appraised at roughly $50,000 less than mine. Well, I thought, man, maybe Bremen just got lucky this year and all of our land went up, 10% more than everybody else. Maybe we did something right, but let's talk to you there. Maybe we did something right for us, right? But then what I did is I pulled, if you look, the next one is Norma C. Norton at the top there. She lives on the same road I did. Her assessment didn't go up a dime. So I went to my next neighbor. Their assessment didn't go up a dime. Next neighbor, 307, that's the one we're looking at right here. Dennis Shaw and them, it didn't go up a dime. Looked at Sheila Mott's here's house, hers didn't go up a dime. Now remember, these are all in I live in a circle, right? These all were in my circle. 273 from the house right across from mine. Now I will tell you, 237 to 273. Say, hey, there's an example. Well, let me tell you, they get about $75,000 worth of work at their house. I can understand why that means much. But let's go to my next neighbor. Again, no increase, 255, 471. Next neighbor, 286, 677. All right, so then we get to, again, another one went up. Again, they did some work on the house. It went up, got it. But 6 out of the 8 properties on my circle, in my neighborhood, didn't go up a dime, and the 2 that did had work done to them. Question would be, why did mine go up? I got a theory, because I've talked to some other people, and we'll get to that later. All right, so I thought maybe it's the houses, maybe we're just rich and breathing. Maybe it's the $400,000 for houses that just got an increase. Well, I just pulled some random ones out of different things. Here's one in Bentwater, 400,000, didn't go up a dime. Here's one in Saddle Ridge, 422, didn't go up a dime. Here's one in Cambridge Overlook, a little more expensive. Matter of fact, I think this, Mr. Charles, if I'm correct, Cambridge Overlook's over near your house, right?
Yes.
Didn't go up a dime. Didn't go up a dime. Can somebody explain that to me? How my one little acre of my house that I did nothing to
It's 50,000 more than the same exact house with better finishes in the county. And 90% of the houses in Bremen didn't get an increase. But let me tell you, I also have talked to people in Bremen, and I can't prove it, but it dang sure happens to be a coincidence. A lot of people that appealed theirs last year got reductions, got the increase this year. So there could be some targeted people that may have appealed last year. Trust me, we got about 100 more of these packets that we put together like this. Now, the last one I want to talk about, and this is just pure incompetence here. If you look at this last one, City of Atlanta based on area determination, not lot, right? So what I did is I just went through. If you look at that first parcel right there, 9 acres in the city of Bremen, land value of $13,400. Mr. Tarpley, you'll go look up that parcel number. That's one of your neighbors. And the reason I know that that can't be true is I offered to buy that land 5 years ago for $25,000 an acre, and it was turned down. If you look at the next parcel, really close to it, it's 6.21 acres. It's valued at $11,000 per acre. How can those two parcels of land, Bremen, Georgia, describe the same, and I have almost a $10,000 acre difference in the land? Look at this land here, 5.29 acres. Again, at $4,600, right, compared to $11,000 acre. These are all the same. I mean, when you start getting above 5 acres, they're measured by the acre, not by the lot. Okay. Now, if you look at it, land value of 33.67 acres. This is undeveloped land. This is why this is going to be important up to this too. This is 33.67 acres off a side road in Bremen, Georgia. It's $10,781 an acre. Another 25.72 acres land value is 284, which is 11,054 acres. Now, I'll tell you the consistent lot in Bremen is about 35,000 acres. Okay? I'm okay with that. Subdivision and everything like that. These are considered acres. They're marked by acre. Mr. Tarpley, I don't know if you'll notice that last parcel there, parcel number 0091C0117. I'll tell you, that's a beautiful piece of land. When I was a kid, I used to swim in the lake there. I'd give anything for that land. I'd probably give 25,000, 30,000 acres for that land. Mr. Tarpley, if you don't understand that parcel number, that's yours. And it's valued at $5,000 acre.
And what I would like to say that, Mr. Norton, and maybe this exists on some of those larger tracts that you just have pointed out, they're under the agricultural restriction. I can't do anything with that land. It's for 10 years. I signed up for it for 10 years. It's done all over the
Hey, Mr. Tarpley, you got a good point. I'm glad you brought that up.
Anybody that's got over.
Hold on. You brought it up. Let me address it.
Good.
See some of these county comps down there?
Do what?
See some of these county comps down there? See those?
Mm-hmm.
Half of those are agricultural. Can't do nothing with them. They're in conservatories.
Conservatory, right.
Do you see one on that paper less than $8,000? And that's supposed to be rural in the county. Okay? So, Mr. Tarpley, I get your argument. Hey, I put it in conservatory so I don't have to pay as big taxes. Smart man. Half of these are in agricultural conservatories. And most of that average is about $9,000 an acre. So with me, your argument doesn't hold water. This is not a personal attack on you, Mr. Tarpley. I love that. Hey, I'll buy that piece of land right now, $5,000 an acre. I bet you would.
But let me say one other thing, whether it makes any difference or not. Let me tell you another thing, about that one piece of land that you have not brought up. To get to that 21 acres of land that I have to go through an easement to get to it. I don't have road frontage to drive on. I have to get an easement. So I don't know where these other properties are. And if they are fronting roads, then that's a different thing.
How do you get the house? How do you get the house?
Do what?
How do you get to your house?
Up my driveway.
And do you have a deeded easement to that driveway?
I know, sir, I have a right to, I don't have a deed. I have a right to cross it and go.
Let's talk about it, we can go down this path, we'll go down there. Mr. Tarpley, you can go through the neighborhood, the Cambridge Overlook that I said earlier was important. I know you own an acre of land
Mhm.
that connects that neighborhood to your property because you bought an acre right there on that. So you could, technically, you own a piece of land where you could get to that and get there. So, look, you can say what you want, you can try to justify it. I'm not here to argue about that. What I'm here to argue is this shows an incompetency of the tax assessor's office. And if we had an incompetency in the fire department, you guys would address it. If we have incompetency of any other county employee, you guys would address it. You guys knew that there was an issue with this last year when we had so many appeals. You guys know there's going to be more of an issue this year based on what I just showed you. And I'm telling you, I'm not the only one. I had multiple people sit down and do this with me, right? Some of them probably even in this room could sit down and do this with me, right? So the problem with it is not here. The problem with it is in that office down there. The problem I have with it is, the problem in that office down there has to be addressed by the people on this board. And if you don't address this, it's a derelict of duty on your end. Now, I would ask this, and I want to make this statement public. I think Ryan Farmer should be dismissed from all conversations on this for his self-protection, right? Because he is law partners with family members of this guy. So I ask that he stay out of all this, right? And that's my request for his own protection. He can decide what he wants to do, and y'all can too. But I can tell you right now, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I've already got, the reason I handed you one, I already got representation.
Let me say.
And hold on, I'm not done, it's my time.
Okay.
I've got representation, and I've laid out my case before him. And he thinks there's something here. But what I know that means is that this county will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars defending itself. And I know we need money for that courthouse. I know we need money for the lease of the magistrate court. So I'm not here to try to put this county in more debt. What I'm here for is to ask you four guys, along with the chairman, to step up and go investigate that office over there. And if we have a county employee not doing their job, then we remove that county employee and we replace him with someone else. That's all I got to say.
Now I have one last thing, and maybe we'll be done. Tax assessment. That department has its own board. We appoint the board, it's a 5-man board now, or three man.
I don't know.
I believe it's a three.
But it's called the tax assessment.
I'm gonna say this, Mr. Tarpley, it's a shame that this board wouldn't know how many people on our tax
Well, we
assessor
just
board.
changed it because we've had 3 on there. I've been on this board for 10 years. And it just changed within the last year that we went from 3 to 5, and I'm gonna tell you.
And my God, if we just changed it last year, you wouldn't know that?
Well, it's hard to find, there's a lot of dedication set on tax assessor board. They have to go to classes for a week at a time every year. It is a 6-year dedicated term. They control the employees of that office. We do not. We appoint the boards. They hire, they fire, they set the budgets, and we, fund it.
So if the board's not doing their job, what happens? What's our recourse?
Then the board's not doing their part, then when their term is up, you or any other citizen, that you got somebody that you want to be on it or would like to see put on it, you need to come before us. But beware, that is a extremely demanding position for 6 years. And not a lot of people want to sign up. They won't sign up till they find out what's required of them. And then they say, I don't know that I want to bite off all that. So I'll leave you with that.
That sounds right. Just, look, just because somebody else don't want to do it, screw the taxpayers. And that sounds perfect. So,
I just want to add one thing, I just want to, it's not what to get at, but I do want to make it very clear. We do not set your property value. The Haralson County Board of Commission has zero say-so over what your properties are valued at. And I know that that's not, because I've said that a few times, but obviously, I just wanted to make that clear, because this has been an important topic, an issue in this county for the last 6 to 12 months, whenever.
I just want to make sure I'm clear before I leave the room for all these people. The tax assessor for the next 6 years can do whatever the hell he wants, and we're just stuck with it. The only other way around that would be go file a lawsuit against the county. We don't think that board and they're doing their jobs.
Well, the standard terms, so you don't have 6 years to wait to move someone out.
But you just said we're probably gonna find somebody else to do it with those, so they're not gonna.
It's a difficult.
You're just gonna reappoint the same people.
You know, it's step forward. That's not necessarily the way it operates. Step forward and show that you want to put forth the effort that it's gonna take.
I have 2 more questions then, and then I'm sorry.
Okay?
This young lady right here,
Yes, sir.
she wanted $21,000 in bills to help just keep the library open. I think everybody thought the deal that we were gonna get for a drop box, we put a drop box down there for Sunday to put our library books in, right? I bet we wasted $21,000 in reappeals last year of property appraisals that we could have given that lady right there, to keep that courthouse done. So it's not, you wanna preach dollars and cents, David Tarpley, but when it comes right down to it, you wanna say, okay, you know the bill.
That's $21,000 this year. What about $21,000 next year and the next year?
And maybe you're about to spend all this money to rent new space for the magistrate court. It's ready to go in rooms, offices. Why not use ours? And save the money and help us keep this beautiful building up.
I wish it was that simple.
But I don't, that's all that. Point of it is, I forgot. We got a problem with the tax assessor's office. And there's only 2 paths I see here. The one I'm leaving with is legal. So I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Are those board members paid positions or are they volunteer? Or are they appointed or elected
They're not, paid, they're appointment positions.
by this board?
But it's for.
People
So
apply.
the tax commissioner board is appointed by,
That's the
the
same.
tax assessor board is appointed by
Board
the
and
board of commissioners. Well, let me ask you about, we have a sheet.
I'm sorry.
Oh, hold up. Yeah.
This one, yeah, we're still in the public, participation.
Teresa Pearson, Betsy Stevens.
That's all.
Anything else from this board tonight? I have a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to stand adjourned.
Okay, second. All in favor? Adjourn.